kubanga alambula emidaala egy'enjawulo era tugenda kuba tutambula naye mu nteekateeka eyo. I think you can be explaining to the guest of honor what you have come to showcase.
Can I use English?
You can use English. It's okay.
Yes, you're most welcome, our guest of honor. My name is John Chiwagalo. We are exhibiting indigenous foods. This is Slow Food Uganda, which is working to preserve local food biodiversity and also to educate a wider world about food and the entire food system, and as well as advocating for sustainable food systems. So at our store here, you can see we have so many food varieties, starting from the seeds, which are on the earth table. We have honey, we have matoke. Actually, they are classified in two different types, like mkuba konde. We have other varieties like the pumpkin. We actually also we also want to show our community how to preserve our indigenous food, and as well as the tools which our grandparents have been using since time of immemorial. So here you can see.
You can go where the chief guest is. You can explain to him what he is holding in his hands.
So actually,
you explain to him.
Yes, these are called field peas, mpande in Uganda. They are widely common in eastern Uganda. They are majorly produced in eastern Uganda, and they are very nutritious and very good. So as Slow Food Uganda, we are working to see that we can preserve such kind of products because we see that they are at a risk of extinction. So we work with our farmers to see that they preserve these products, sir.
Thank you. What has been shown here, Mpande, I will need to check what they are in English.
Bambara nut.
Bambara nut. Thanks for reminding us. Bambara nut, I'm here with Dr. Nambatia, and she's Madam. I don't want to dilute your message to the Ugandans. Let me not dilute your message to the Ugandans. Bambara nut.
Yeah, this is, as you see the way it's, there is what they call dogma of signature. It's like the man's prostate. So if men eat this, they would prevent prostate. Yes. So I think long ago people used to have these on meals. Yeah, but now I was so happy to see it because it's no longer available. Yeah.
Can you believe that it is no longer there? When you have it, why don't you multiply as we discussed from inside? How can we have these multiply? And we disseminate them is now what we need to engage and work on. This is very wonderful. Thank you. Slow food. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pelam Uganda, for coming up with this great idea. I think people are trying to get to know how Uganda was gifted by nature. Like I was telling you in the first place, that when we talk of Uganda being gifted by nature, we don't only mean the lakes, the mountains, and everything, but even food is also a gift from God.
If we want to sustain agriculture and not take, in our schools during our days, in those days, it was very unfortunate that whoever would make a very small mistake would be punished by going to dig in the school garden, which I think was a little bit unfair to their. But what I am seeing here is engaging our babies from early childhood so that they grow appreciating agriculture. Thank you, Slow Food. We may go forward.
Okay. We can go on another stall. In the interest of time, there are many stalls, but we want to cover most of them so that, Honorable, you go when you well know how Uganda have come to showcase today. Who is going to take us through here? Okay. Chala uno yagenda okutubuulira biki byazze nabyo. Bino ngenda bikwata nnyo.
Tusanze okubalabako abagenyi baffe naffe tuli bakulika Uganda ng'era ensonga etuleese wano naffe okwolesa n'okwongera okujjukiza abantu kubanga bamanyi naye baba beerabidde. Tulina emmere yaffe, eddagala, enva n'ebyokulya byonna nga byakulya naye ate nga ddagala, ate nga n'ekirungi mu kyo byongera okubeera nti nno bireeta bikuuma okubeera nga ssente tezifuluma nnyo. Tetulina nsigo egyoga nti buli sizoni ogenda kubeera nga ogula ensigo, buli sizoni ogula ensigo. Naye tulina emmere yaffe okuva mu kuteekateeka ettaka, okusimba, okukungula, okukoola kwonna kwonna n'okulabirira. Tulina eddagala lyaffe ery'ekinnansi lye tutabula, tulina emiti gyaffe, omuddo gwaffe gwe tutabula, tulina wayini waffe oyo gwe tukola, enjuki zaffe ku miti egyaffe egya bulijjo kwejja ebimuli, ku bimera byaffe, ku bibala, enjuki zaffe nazo organic. Temuli kyonna kyonna kigattemu nti oba tugasseemu kino. Mpozi nga tulaba emmere kati ng'eno nti twagikazaako obukupa obuyuuni obwo obutono. Bulungi nnyo mu kukuuma enjala, bulungi nnyo mu kulya, nakyo kirimu obujjanjabi mu muntu. Tolwalwala nsigo, tolwalwala birwadde bya mubiri, eby'omunda omwo tobirwalwala. Tulina gonja waffe wuno waali, tulina kivuvu waffe, tulina emmere eno gituyita ey'omu ttaka, tulina ndiizi, tulina amatooke gaffe ago nakabululu ge gaffe ag'edda, so sigamba nti ate ebigattegatte ate bikyusekyuse, naye nga yemmere ewooma ewunya akawoowo ate ng'evumula.
Okay, thank you so much. We would love to get some words from Dr. Grace Nambatya about this buyuni bwa kupa yabwogeddeko nga tukyalira eri munda.
Thank you so much. First of all, I appreciate Kulika. Kulika sponsored my master's and PhD in UK. I'm what I am because of Kulika. Obukupa, it's very good for giving energy. People get so weak when they get COVID. So the kakupa is very good and it doesn't raise sugar. So I'm diabetic, but it's one of those things I use to really stabilize your sugars. I would also like to comment on Kalya Katunda Kakaluba. It's very good for people who have anxiety, like bipolar disorder, and sleep well, because after COVID, there are lots of mental cases. So people can benefit a lot, and those who want good sleep. Then Susuti. Susuti ekyo era kiyamba nnyo ku sukaali okubeera nga tobeera na sukaali ali waggulu. So it's very good to eat. Kuba abantu bangi bagamba tebalaba variety for eating. Then waliwo kiri ekinyeebwa ekizungu. Ekinyeebwa ekyo ekizungu kiri very important munda. Kiyamba nnyo abasajja obutafuna prostate bwe bakirya. Ate munda mulimu akantu akagrini akakaawa kayamba nnyo okumalamu omusujja ng'omuntu tawonye bulungi, kakozesebwa ku malaria. So ekyo ekigundi ekitafeeri kituyamba tetwandirinze kufuna kansa bw'oba okinywa buli lunaku, just the juice you can kwanga fena buli lunaku tufuna obuseera obugundi bwa kansa obwo mpola mpola. Ekinzaali ekyo nakyo kirungi nnyo. It's a natural antibiotic. Ate ne ku skin kirungi. Uganda weda kyeyakozesanga nga agenda okufumbirwa. Otekeramu like oil omulungi. I think muno mulimu abatulaze ensigo ezivaamu oil, you mix. Then of course notekamu beeswax n'ofuna ekizigo ky'obulungi n'okozesa. Ebyo bye nsobola okwogerako.
Toyanza nnyo, toyanzeege Dr. Grace Nambatya mukugu mu kunoonyereza ku nsonga zonna ez'ebyobutonde n'eddagala eryaffe ery'ekinnansi, ate nga bwe mukimanyi nti tuli mu mwoleso ogw'emmere ennansi. Tugenda ku mudaala omulala gwe munnange agoberera ensonga zino. Pela mu Uganda be bategese omwoleso guno ogw'emmere ennansi. Mulabe Uganda biki byerina? Sebo.
Tweyanze olw'omukisa guno. Nze Musisi James nga nkola Nina Mayumba Epicenter wamu ne Iganga Epicenter nga tukolagana n'ekitongole ekya Anga Project Uganda. Tutandise n'engeri tutya abantu bwe tuyinza okutereka ensigo, kubanga buli kirimwa kitandika na kutandika nsigo. Tulabye engeri bulutya bajjajjaffe oba bwe tuyinza okutereka ensigo mu ngeri ennyangu, tengeeroka kino kyekyagi bakadde baffe kye bakozesanga okutereka ensigo. Buli kika kya nsigo kisobola okuterekebwa mu kyagi tusobola okukijja mu kyagi ate ne tugenda mu nnimiro. So bwe tuzze tusomesebwa ebitongole ebyo waggulu Peramu ne Anga Project Uganda, atutandikirawo etterekero ly'ensigo ku community. Eno yakyalo esookerwako omuntu wa bulijjo, eno ya community seed bank. Bwe tuvaawo tweyongerayo n'okulima emmere ewa amaanyi ate nga ddagala. Wano tulaba emmere ey'enjawulo, tulaba ebisebe, tulaba abalugu, tulaba kyetutumula.
Tulabyeko ku midaala giri egisoose, tutwaleko ku binyonyi bino sebo.
Ebinyonyi bino mbireese olw'ensonga abantu abamu babibuusa amaaso, naye bye ebinyonyi ebyala ate nga waliwo ekyekusifu ekirimu nti bigumira endwadde okusinga ebinyonyi ebirala byonna. Era endwadde tezibikosa nga bwe bikosa binyonyi birala. Ate tulabayo ebisusumadde ebyoya. Ebinyonyi ebyo bajjajjaffe babirinako eddagala ensangi zino abantu lye batamanyi. Era nga tulinawo n'ebintu ebirala omuli ebibala, omuli enva, omuli ebintu ebyenjawulo, emmere enkalu.
Dr. Grace Nambatya nalabyeko ku bintu bino, nalabyeko enkooge ng'ogisomesaako. Si eno Dokita?
Okay, enkooge eno eyamba nnyo okuwa omuntu appetite. Naddala oyinza ogifumbira mu busera, omuntu kwegamba emaking emmere y'okuba nga eri fermented, kwega negenda mangu mu system. Era eyamba nnyo era ku bya sukaali, abatalina kyakunywa abasukaali, enkooge nyangu okunywa, naye bw'ogifumba mazzi otekamu otunnyo otutono otw'ekisula nesobola okuba ng'enywebwa. Era mu budde buno bwa covid eba very very useful. Ffe wande gwe yatukola juice w'enkooge nga tutaddemu hibiscus, and it's very good nga immuno booster. Pozi njagala okwogera ku ekkobe kati ekkobe lino kati ffe mu herbal medicine tulina kye tuyita ekintu kye kifaanana, ne bw'oba togera nga musomero so okumanya kye kijanjaba. Kati kino kifaanana ki?
Dr. Goyinza otugamba.
Kifaanana, waliwo kano akali wano. Thymus. Kifaananamu ng'ekibumba. Kifaanana some bit of like prostate byo. Naye mpozi bw'oba n'ekizimba nga kikyali kigumu, n'okalakatako akakuta n'okasiigako ku kizimba ekyo, kyengera mu kiro kimu. Nkeera nekyabika. At least that one experience.
This is common.
Yes, it's common, but it's a medicine.
Yeah, for pressure. Era abedda ku lujjuliro kwabeerangako emmere ya buli age category. Kati nga bikubaako bino nga biba by'abantu 50 and above. Ya kati kyesimanyi nti bw'obutula bwali nga butono nnyo. Kati bino binene.
Naye olw'okuba kati ffe tulina our chemical, as in our fertilizer composition, the one which is actually organic. So this is what we call the vermiculite. We find that actually there are some zetuyita ensiriŋŋanyi, earthworms. So kati bwe tuteekamu fertilizer gundi vermiculite ne bugejja bwe buti, era ojja kwekanga na buno bukyeri tomato tuyinayo ate obusinga wano obuki obunene, because of that synergy gye tukola mu crop production etulabanga twongerako omutindo gw'ekintu gwe tulima. Yes.
Okay, with the interest of time.
Amagi malungi nnyo ku covid. Abanja agali loko. Yeah, agali loko. Malungi nnyo waso ogagu. Kiri waso. Yes.
Kale. Yanza nnyo tweyange. Tukyagenda maaso n'okulabula emidaala egy'enjawulo. Olunaku olwaliro Uganda bagenda maaso n'okulaga biki bye balina na ki lima mu ngeri eyaffe ey'ekinnansi. Mu Uganda twagala okubeebaza olwa enteekateeka eyo. I think this sister of mine, she's going to help us to explain to us what we are having here.
Thank you very much, our guest. Here we have indigenous plants. These are indigenous and they are organic. We have different varieties. If I can begin to sample, I have this plant. In our local language, we call it alayu. Alayu. It is a local food plant. If you taste it, it's bitter. But when you paste it with the simsim mixed with the ginat, the bitterness reduces. It is believed that if you continue consuming it, it reduces the rate of getting malaria. So it is both nutritional and medicinal. We also have another one. This one is purely wild. In our local language, we call it a chue. Yeah, it is a wild plant. You eat the leaf. It is alkaline when you taste. So when you continue, because it is alkaline. We have varieties here. No, simsim is this one. Traditionally, when they are when they are performing like a marriage ceremony, the traditional marriage, that dish must be prepared. It can be prepared to make a cake so that everybody should eat. It is rich in calcium and then zinc. If you are planting, you plant them together with the simsim. But it takes, you intercrop. But this one will remain in the garden for 1 full year. You harvest this one will remain. Yeah, yes. So that one is a molar.
And then one other thing about it is, we in our community, we make it in powder form, then we mix with the honey to treat ulcers, typhoid. Yeah, it has worked very effectively for some people in our community. Then this one, we call it jiri. It is also bitter. Yes, the leaves are edible. Then the flowers here. Yeah.
I think this is the this is the Gynandropsis.
We use the roots to cleanse the stomach. The roots, you take it as medicine. Yeah, even the flowers here, we use it to kill the skin diseases, yes, on the body. But the leaves, we eat it, which is so nutritious, and also in the stomach, it helps in the control of the worms. Then we.
I want to add for you.
Yes.
The white flower on this. Somebody has bad is in the nose, the headache.
When you are having too much headache,
Yeah.
the root.
And this, yeah, and this is also what we use when you have flu. You can pluck it and you let this enter in your nose. Then you sneeze until all this nonsense are out, and you are healthy to go. Then we eat, yeah. The leaves are what we eat. Yeah, the leaves we eat, but also you put it in water. You soak it a bit. After childbirth, you wash yourself with it. Then very smart you become. Second virginity, you get it from it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think we can talk. Our guest of honor.
Yeah. We use it even for young children.
Our guest of honor, we can go on another stall.
It's very interesting. Thanks so much.
We are interested, our guest of honor, in this stall which has more of medicinal product. It's this side. Yeah, those are the same. Yeah. There is some medicinal stall here. We would love the chief guest to see what Ugandans have come to case here. Yeah. I think, Grace, you can take us through what you have come to showcase today.
Yeah, we actually have this. Actually, we are talking about the seed bank. These are some of the local varieties we are trying to collect. We have just started, since these have been the lost varieties, we collect them, and I think by next year we would have collected a lot because we have told the information, and farmers now are actually, they are very active trying to look for those lost varieties. When you come here, I remember you used to see this is what we used to eat, take from Arua, so many things, these things you used to, but these days you don't find. We have resorted. We are actually traditional. I have here kalo, and this is how you can mix it. Here there are 3 things, and you come. I had this one for porridge also, but unfortunately, I think people here like I like taking a lot of porridge. So all what I brought for porridge has taken. And
I think you can give Dr.
something to the world about millet and the importance of this crop.
Yes, millet is rich in iron, and as you see, iron is at the base of us having blood. But on the other hand, millet is also supposed to be an alkaline food, meaning it fills you, though the best form of millet is the fermented.
Fermented.
Yes. Well, sometimes if you ferment and get sprouts,
Yeah,
the sprouts are high value. But millet is a food for longevity. You know, people can live for long because the blood is always new. Yes.
And it used to be our most stable food for Iteso. But these days it is getting, actually, it is also getting lost. And we are replacing it with the sorghum. Actually, even if you go, I have just, when I was coming here, I was trying to look for more. I wanted to come here to bring it when it was much, but it was very scarce. So you find that I don't know what is happening. Millet is also getting lost now. If we are not working hard to restore it, it will also get lost.
Nutritional values, we need to put in a deliberate effort to resurrect it and see that it is really disseminated to our people. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, on this stall where we are going, it has a lot of medicine. I think Dr. Grace Nambatia will help to take through after finished to tell us what they have come to showcase. Taking us through the Q&A.
You're welcome. This is Church Uganda, Tedo. With us here, we have a variety of things. We have the seeds, all types of seeds. Yes. We have the seeds around here, all varieties of seeds we keep in our seed bank. We have our indigenous seeds, which we keep in our local seed bank. So we have brought just a sample of them here to showcase. And then us here in front, we also have the condiments, the things that we normally use for spicing. We have our shea nut butter. We have butter, the one from animals. And then we have tamarind, which we have made it here. Mary. Yeah. And then we also have fried peanuts. Have our local also we have peanuts. And then for now decided to embark on producing these locally. That will help us to enhance and we also have honey, which is good. And here we have our traditional herbs, which do treat many diseases. We have ulcers. If you have ulcers, if you have pressure also, you have a problem with the kidneys. If you have a problem with the anything in the urinary.
They're made out of what? They're made out of what?
They are basically the local plants.
Like what?
Like Mlondo here, which is a plant. Then also we have, it is here as a plant, but we decided to crush it into powder form so that someone can also take it as a farmer, and it helps to build also our immunity. As farmers, as you can see, we are very strong and energetic. Yes.
Molondo can also help sick. You treat, yeah. But how do you preserve your juice?
Locally.
Preserve it.
We have a local preservative that we use. You see, lemon is something simple, but a very good preservative for every organic substances. That is how we preserve them. Together with cloves.
You can also use cloves. You can also use Christmas tree.
Christmas tree.
Christmas.
Cypress.
You can also.
Okay.
Thank you for not using chemicals.
Doctor, you have no any comment on this medicine here?
What
The Mulondo whatsoever. You talked about the Mulondo in. I think those people who are watching us live.
It's a very good food supplement. Apart from sexual energy, people can get those micronutrients in food just by getting powder added into their food. It's a disappearing species. There is a big project in Makerere University Food Science and Technology to really see that it's multiplied because it should basically balance the whole body, like ginseng.
Ginseng.
People should not travel by ginseng when Molondo is
We are
here.
buying ginseng coffee. It is being mixed. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And there are other roots here.
The other roots here.
They are combined. The powder.
I'd like to give them a message. Now, okay, the lab I'm heading is in charge of standardizing herbal medicine. Would like to encourage you, come over and we see how we could assist you add value. Yes, so that we can put on scientific names which are internationally understood. Because when the names are not understood, then these things will disappear, you know? Yeah.
Thank you for your supplement, but what we request you, maybe if there's a way you can ask you people.
Okay.
You are in Pelham. You are in this, the group of Pelham. What I think can help us is now your group to liaise with your headquarters, the Pelham headquarters. She comes to engage so that these things are properly assembled, they are properly named, so that when people are going to use them. For example, if it is the Mulondo, we know the Mulondo, and if she has already done the analysis, she knows what is there and what she can do. But she will do the same by looking at where this root has come from. She gets a name for that tree and now extracts and packages and gives a proper name for the material that has come from the tree. You can treat. So that give the public what is known and going on. That is what she's raising. Yes.
That herbal drug there. To help us, we take it for confidence. When you are this one, yes, and there is the one, the mixture is here, this one here, yes. So confidence are copied out of that.
So this is what she's talking about. Exactly. So when you are giving it to someone, the name of the tree should be known.
Yeah. In our local language, we call that one and that one abach.
Abach eusu. So
yes.
This is why we are saying that we need that close interaction and it is properly handled. So for the benefit of all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, our guest of honor. Let's go on another stall, but with the interest of time, we shall not move on all the stalls that we are having here today. But there is a stall from the Catholic Church. From the Catholic Church here, there is a sister. She has good knowledge about the preservative of.
Afternoon. Thank you so much. You're most welcome to StudyNet Sustainable Development Network, standing for Sub-Region, Ramor District. Yes. Wow, that's very good. So, region, as you can see around, we have different storage facilities for storing seeds. Yes. So any seed in a Acholi sub-region, especially the beans, we have over 4 species of beans found in a Acholi sub-region. And as you know, beans in and then in nitrogen in soil. And we have our traditional seed bank in a Acholi sub-region. Yeah, and then
Explain to us this traditional seed bank.
yeah, this traditional seed bank is meant to keep the seeds that are going to extinction. Trade as seeds which we are lost, and they use calabashes and the place is, and the goods is able to become, and it is cold, it generates a bit of heat, make sure that the seeds are viable out. Is viable for planting. So we have different beans, varieties as I said, and we have different cereals, and we have many varieties which comes from species of simsim. If you look at this, in most cases, if you move around Uganda, you will not get this, but you will get it from Acholi sub-region. The usual simsim is this, the one everybody knows about. Yes, but these two are the different species coming from simsim also. So we have plenty of them in Acholi sub-region, and we also have what we call amaranthus, the one they use for porridge. Yes, different in Acholi sub-region. Then different types of cereals. You can get the red one, the white one, and the one is somehow dark.
Because this color, Doctor, I would like you to tell the relationship between the color, food nutrients.
Then we have what is in
Millet.
It's also a cereal found in Acholi sub-region. Yes, please.
Explain to the public the relationship for some is the color relationship. Doctor.
Yeah, the color in nature, when you see all red, these colors fight cancer. Yeah, so if I found red and that other color would go with for this one, the colors are the antioxidants, the flavonoid. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. That's what I wanted. Something to come out on that. This is you, sister. This is the Look at this.
Wow.
Yeah, full of flavonoids, which are nutritionally important. This is what I was requesting Dr. Nambatya to explain to the public from that expert point. Thank you. Thank you.
Then we have different indigenous vegetables from Acholi sub-region. And it has helped us a lot in fighting COVID, because most of them are somehow bitter, and they are found, the wild have given us. You can even go to a smaller bush near the river, and you get it. And now they are trying to even grow them at home so that they have that continuity. When it is plenty, they dry and they put in their granaries. When they put in the granaries, during scarcity, this is their resilient measure, but to have the vegetables grew out. Then we have what we call mushroom found on ant hills. They are very big, and when it is much, they also dry and keep it. The same applies to pumpkin. During harvest, they are too much. They dry and they keep them to use them during scarcity. And out of the pumpkin, out of the sweet potatoes, we are able to make the cookies so that they add a lot of value.
It's very important. Value addition. You know, along the value, we have increased the production, we have the volumes, but now how do we ensure that these volumes we have can reach a bigger number of population and we don't lose out? So on the value chain, along the value chain at post-harvest, it is also prudent we go further into processing so that the storage period, shelf life can be a little bit extended and again available for consumption as and when needed. So it is a very, very good approach, sister. Thank you very much.
And in order to proper yield, we have compost. Our farmers are doing a lot of composting because we have realized that buying fertilizer and other things are becoming dangerous to our soils. And as a result, we are going to composting and going to crop protection using different shrubs, like this one is African marigold, which is very good in repairing pests. And we also have the neem, which they are also using, and we have cow dung. In most cases, we use it during storage facilities. We can either burn or mix with the crop. Yeah, exactly. Now you can see we have sim, we have groundnuts, we have guavas, mangoes. During plenty, we make advantage of drying them, including what the wild have given us. This is, in the language, it's called oralemo. It's
something here for you. Orele. Is it used for?
It's a fruit. Like the shea nut.
Professor. Huh? Huh?
This is the paste.
Yes. Oh, you first. Hey, Odi. Okay, thanks very much. This is very addition of Enswa, something I have never seen, Doctor. Have you seen this Enswa, where the Enswa has been processed into this product? So I think, Doctor, the issue would be preservation. How does it remain safe after this processing? Because being proteins and some fats, and there would be need for stabilizing and also ensuring that the taste doesn't change and maybe produce other things. It is and continue from where you have reached. Thank you.
So we have different wines and juices from the traditional fruits. We have fruits, some which are down there, Oteo. It is this. Yeah, you can make, you make very wheat. Is
fiber, you can make baskets. Yeah.
And after the trunk, you can make the local hives and the leaves. So when you have eaten the fruit, the seed you put in the soil, and it shoots this. This shoot comes like a...
They said it's for longevity.
Like malewa.
It's longevity.
So it is eaten the way
And
malewa
it's
is eaten.
very easy to eat it.
And eaten like a cassava. And you can try it out of it as a spice. Any food you are eating, you can put a bit of it. And
here you can
color.
You
color and use it as food color.
So from maracuana and other things, we have made the paste, most of the paste from all our seeds. Like we have this, the one is the family of seed. From maracuana, I mean sunflower. You can extract the paste from sunflower from the and others.
a lot of work. How long have you been guiding people? For how long?
In Lamu, I've been there for 5 years. Yes, this is my 5th year. And I've learned about it. Yes.
So how far are you planning to
No, so long as Professor, my lecturer, and he taught me a lot of these things, and we meet each other. Yeah, so...
Thank you. Now we need to go to the next. So what is that black one?
From tamarind, you make jam out of it. You make extra wine and you make juice out of tamarind. You do to the seed. The seed, we get them, make a paste out of them, and food. They also have
in Spain.
Yes, the seeds.
Tamarind.
You make a tea, tamarind seeds.
Okay.
You can crush them.
Okay, with the interest of time, our chief guest, we can go on another stall. We can go on another stall here, which we will find it's also interesting. Our brothers and sisters here came to showcase many things here. I don't know who is taking us through. Sister, taking us through this, we want our chief guest to know what you have come to showcase today. Okay, you can start.
I'm Harriet from Nebi, that is West Nile. We have brought so many indigenous and local food plants, but for the start I may begin with the local food plants. We have one so-called Akeyo, or spider plant. It is nutritious and also medicinal. The medicinal part of it, the root, you first wash the root, and then it helps, like when someone has stomach ache. Yes, and also we have the leaf. It is edible, yes, the leaf is edible, and at times we even boil. Like we have the juice here. This is the one we have boiled, and to help like when you have headache, it has been helping us a lot. And also, after removing it, you first drop, maybe when your eyes are paining, you drop them in the eyes, they also help a lot. So it has also been helping us during COVID-19 so much. Yes, this is with.
Okay, thank you so much. With the interest of time, our chief guest, I can take you to our last, maybe the second last or the last one. I saw someone here from Chigezi. He had a lot of things that you might find interesting, our chief guest. Abachiga bali wano bamanyi okugamba olukiga.
Obushera twinehe ntulire hanuya. So, welcome to
Okay?
Someone should come here and explain to our chief guest briefly so that we can extend to the next stall.
You're welcome, our visitors. This is Let's Change My Village, Luchiga Indigenous Community Seed Bank. So we have here greens you can see. This is Echituluguma. In our language, Echituluguma is so nutritious. Twineshoje, we have Echitulinganyi. It's ham, but so nutritious. Yeah. It is H2. Yeah, it's ham. Yeah. It is edible. Yes?
Netto,
It's,
yes.
yeah. It's net. Yeah. So we have in our area, we use it so much, especially when you mix it with the peas. That's it. So nutritious. Then we have this cup. This cup is our traditional cup. It's meant for household head. So you put it there, you fill it with the porridge, you put aside, you put it in the bedroom so that the man can keep on drinking the whole night. He should not be thirsty, surely.
This is a very unique plant.
Yes.
It is called something. Singing nettle. And the doctor is telling us it works on allergies. We use it vegetable in Kigezi when it is still young. I remember our parents, the mothers, would go and pick, and I think it has some special
Chemical.
Yes.
It has a chemical. It has a chemical called histamine.
Histamine.
It's itching due to histamine. Now God made a plant that itches to be the treatment. So it purifies as well.
I'm going back to Kigezi to eat a lot. Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know whether my brother inside Odongotho, you're ready so that we can come up for another program. I think our chief guest, we can go inside for another program. Thank you so much for giving in the time. Thank you so much, our chief guest.
Maybe we shall buy and go with the hotel.
Let us go inside with our closing remarks. Yeah, let's go back inside. Okay, thank you so much.
Amidogeno kono lubanga papa. Pikara mene mianga tunie. Imwakaro mama dia tieda kuo. Nyingangu petelina buo. Mwakanangu. Tiot kanyari. Iwe kanyawu. Amanga tie ko ipintani.
In 2015, we decided to conduct a research. We conducted a baseline study on the flora in Ofaka sub-county, which is in Arua district. From that study, we realized that 0.5 hectare of intact woodland was being cut just to produce 22 bags of charcoal. And also we realized that people, especially women, were the ones who were collecting the wild. As we designed a new program, which was a unique aspect that Uganda program considered, we decided to do something on the wild and traditional foods. Yeah, because the global resource use and rights programs was looking at agroecology. But as we looked at agroecology, we tried to see, can we also bring in the wild and traditional foods and integrate it in agroecology work?
Agroecology is both a science, a practice, and a movement. As a science, we use the technical knowledge that we have to ensure that our people have enough food, enough livelihoods, and that whatever they have at their disposal is properly managed.
Through our work with Trocare partners in the 4 regions,
Hello.
we identified several wild edible plants.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May I request my colleague Katamba to lead back the exhibitors back to the hall so that we, and the guest of honor as well, with the entire team of Pelham, so that we start our last program of this afternoon and the closure. Katamba and team, we have had enough of the stall visits. Can we get back to the hall and we start our final program of the day? Lawrence, can you ensure that Katamba and the team are informed to lead back the guest of honor into the room so that we can start our program for closure? We have some presentations that are going to be made. May I put on notice Dr. Catherine Chiuka is going to start with her presentation in 10 minutes, and then we will go to the Trocare team or representative or their head, and then we go to the final 3 programs and we end. Participants who are in the exhibition areas, kindly come back to the room and we begin our closing programs. Guests of honor, welcome back, and congratulations for that garden visit. We enjoyed it as well and enjoyed the explanations and sharing of experiences, and especially on the varieties of seeds and foods around the country. May I request someone from the Secretariat of Pelham to kindly inform and lead the Pelham team, the chairman, the country director, and the rest of the Pelham team, and other guests to come back to the room so that we can start our final program. Is Dr. Catherine Chiuka in here? Oh.
Sticks to what I wrote.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with listen. We shall have the rest coming in as they are being alerted from the fair that is going outside. We will join certainly later, but we need to start the programs in here and wind up so that then as we depart from here, we will pass by the exhibition stalls. Now we are going to hear from Dr. Catherine Chiuka, who is a senior research officer with NARO, a conservationist, and she is going to give us a presentation of the draft national policy on genetic resources for food and agriculture. Catherine, you're most welcome. Come over and proceed with your presentation. I'll give you 10 minutes.
Thank you, Charles. Good afternoon, all. Protocol observed. It's a pleasure on behalf of the team here. Oh, sorry. What happened? On behalf of the team and network of partners, it's a pleasure to share with you the journey towards developing a national policy on genetic resources for food and agriculture. The presentation outline, we need to demystify GRFA. What is genetic resources for food and agriculture? We've already seen opportunities within genetic resources for food and agriculture, so I'll just go through briefly. And also I will highlight the challenges and risks to our genetic resource, to the existence of our genetic resources for food and agriculture. Then, to some bit of justification as to why we need a policy to guide our activities as we tap into the opportunities within the genetic resources for food and agriculture. Then a little bit of the genesis of the process and the draft policy as it is now. Okay. What's the genetic resources for food and agriculture? We've all visited the stalls. We've appreciated the variation within those resources. But it's sad to inform you that that is just a small section of what genetic resources for food and agriculture entail. You have not seen the animals that support our food systems and agricultural productivity. You've not seen the microbes, the cultures, the bacteria. You've not seen the plants that support our the pollination activities, the biocontrol agents. All those are classified into genetic resources that support food and agriculture. And Uganda is just to stress about the variation within genetic resources for food and agriculture. When we look at the plant sector, you will have to appreciate the variation within species and the investment towards understanding the variation and the opportunities there is. Farmers' varieties, semi-domesticated plants, all those, a couple of them have been exhibited. The wild plants we use for food, I've seen some there. The grasses and forages for our livestock, I've not seen that, but those are also important resources to support our food systems and agriculture. That picture can also show you a bit of the plant genetic resources that have not been exhibited outside there. But as you look at this slide, I would like you to reflect about the variation in other sectors of genetic resources for food and agriculture. The animals, the microbes, and the invertebrates, and the forestry sector. What opportunities? We're always proud to say that Uganda is gifted by nature. But are we tapping into those opportunities sustainably? Take a case of the food. We've just had lunch. You saw more than 10 foods as buffet during that lunch. But you've never heard about Ugandan restaurant, as you hear Chinese restaurant or West African restaurant. The herbal medicine, nowadays, going herbal is an in thing, but are we securing and tapping into the opportunities within that industry sustainably? Are we securing these resources? Just take a look at what is happening out there. The land use modifications, the deforestations, effects of climate change are all threatening the survival and our ability to utilize these resources to support our national development and food security. Other challenges. I think if you've been in since morning, you can recognize that we have a challenge of coordination. I heard Dr. Nambatia didn't know that there are efforts to ensure that these resources are conserved. It's because we are not coordinated as a country, and yet these resources are here to support our survival and national development. So we need to work on that. Are we securing these resources? Do we have national repositories for these resources? The plants, I can ably say, because I come from the Plant Genetic Resources Center, we have a national gene bank, and we're also working with communities. But given the effort put in securing plant genetic resources, we're only at 11% of the total plant variation in this country. And that is the only sector we can proudly say that we have repositories for plants. Now, talk about just think through other sectors of GRFA. The weak institutional setup, coordination in relation to access and benefit sharing, weak coordination and coordination for access and benefit sharing. When we talk about access and benefit sharing, why is it critical for genetic resources for food and agriculture? In the morning, I had one person exhibiting shea butter, and he made a comment that when we make a lotion of shea, by producing shea butter lotion, this should encourage farmers not to cut down the tree. But it is not practically like that. How are the benefits of buying shea butter lotion, which doesn't go less than 20,000 a bottle, trickling down to the farmer, to the farming communities, to appreciate that when I let this shea tree grow, we are benefiting as a country. So the mechanisms for access and benefit sharing, how are you ensuring that the farmers keeping these resources benefit? Biopiracy. Biopiracy is theft. You know we have porous borders, and we are very friendly. And living in this high-tech era, someone can just come as a tourist, pick a small leaf, preserve it well, fly back, make mass production of these resources, patent, and then we are there to lose. So as a country, how have we ensured that we bridge the gaps? Bioprospecting, I can just give you a good example of the COVIDex. Professor Ogok said, Wabugia ugandensis, and you hear ugandensis. I love using Wabugia ugandensis because it has that endemism. It relates with us, Uganda. He worked on that, he has been working on that species for over 7 years. bioprospecting, working with communities to understand how communities have been interacting with this species, and then scientifically evaluating the species to identify the potential. But how much are we investing in bioprospecting initiatives as a country? So, just make a reflection, are these natural resources secure? And what implication does it have to our national development? Just a small summary of the losses. There are over 300 varieties of plants bred in the last 2 decades. But when you try to look back to know where are these resources, you can't trace them. You can only trace 30% of the total number of varieties bred. And the investment is over 80 billion shillings lost. Because some people say, when I worked on coffee for my PhD, but when I go to the forest, collect the material, people tend to say, this is Catherine's resource. No one bothers to take care of it or deposit it in a national depository. So such challenges, the government loses money, and us as a people, we also lose money and opportunities to grow. Crop wild relatives, we are threatening the ecosystems to support these crop wild relatives, which are important to support the crop improvement programs. So, given that background, I believe everyone here agrees with me that we need a national policy to secure, to understand, and to utilize our genetic resources for food and agriculture. In Vision 2040, we believe that agriculture can contribute to the transition from being subsistence farmers to a middle income. But how can you do that when you don't know your resources, when you don't know when you can't easily access them, when you don't know the potential there is? So the policy comes in to see how we can arrange ourselves as a people to tap into the opportunities within our genetic resources. Just an example of how securing genetic resources and deploying them into the ecosystem can help confer resilience to farming communities. Here I give you an example with plant genetic resources, but this can also be used by other genetic resources for food and agriculture. By use of modeling, we know that we can predict the future climate, and we know where that climate is, or which areas are experiencing that particular climate. And with efficient mechanisms of accessing genetic resources, we can access seed from that area, bring it to Uganda, empower our farming communities, multiply the genetic resource, and help them adapt to the changes due to climate change, for instance, drought, pest and disease pressures, heat tolerance, and the rest. But doing this necessitates you to be well coordinated as a people. This is still an example of how to redeploy genetic diversity to confer resilience into our farming systems to improve livelihood needs. In the picture, you can ably see farmers have been empowered to revive their local diversity, understand it in terms of pest and disease pressure, understand it in terms of using it to confer resilience to pest and disease pressures, and also farmers' capacity to lobby for their rights. still the same slide, another slide showing you how farmers are benefiting and gladly appreciating the efforts of securing and reviving and utilizing their genetic resources for improved livelihoods. But remember, this is only in plants. What are we doing for the animals? Are we securing our local varieties or our diversity within animals, microbes, and name them? So, a little bit of the genesis of the GRFA policy. This policy, as you've seen, it's been informed by evidence. We all see that we have a challenge we need to address. Studies, partnerships, networks, and historically, Uganda is party to the Convention on Biological Diversity, which provides that genetic resources should be conserved, sustainably utilized, and then the benefits that accrue from the utilization of these resources should be fairly utilized. And today we are talking about food. We've all appreciated the importance of food in our systems. Because of the special place food has in our lives and national development, it was thought prudent that food follows well-defined mechanisms to facilitate access, use, and conservation. So that's why international negotiations came up with the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture, the IT, which Uganda is party to. And having signed those documents, we were obliged to domesticate them. And in the process of domesticating them, the process started way back in March 2003. I'll not go through it. This is quite. Task force was formed. Technical people supported the process to 4th November 2008, when the policy on now plant genetic resources for food and agriculture was approved by the top policy management of MAIF. After that, something I cannot explain happened. The process stalled. Then the process was revived after about 2-3 years, when the government has new requirements for policy. That is, each policy had to first conduct a regulatory impact assessment and a strategy. And then, time had passed, so we had to review the policy and ensure that all the issues are well catered for. After doing all that, you have the RIA, the policy is up to date. There's necessity to to present the policy to the top policy management in MAIF. That was around 2017. During that meeting, they advised that the policy is broadened to include all other genetic resources that are important for our food security. And now that's where we're at. So the process, the team went back, reviewed the draft plant genetic resources, the draft policy on plant genetic resources for food and agriculture to include other genetic resources important for food and agriculture, and those include animals, microbes, invertebrates, and the forestry. The process was quite consultative, and as we are now, we have a draft policy whose vision is to have a rich, competitive genetic resource. Remember, in my earlier slides, I was showing you how, we have something, but we don't know, we are not sure whether we have it, we don't know where to find it. And the mission is not only to secure the resources, but also to utilize them for our economic well-being. We have a high rate of unemployment, but how are we utilizing the opportunities within these resources? And the goal is to enhance genetic conservation, sustainable utilization, and the fair and equitable sharing of all the benefits at all stages, not only one person benefiting, but the farmers, the custodians of these genetic resources should also benefit. A little bit about the objectives. To promote in situ conservation of the genetic resources, plant, animals, microbes, and forestry. 2, to increase access to sustainable use and equitable sharing of the GRFA. And 3, to enhance bioprospecting, basically to enhance initiatives that understand our genetic resources to further innovation and development. Then strengthening coordination, institutional and human capacity for the conservation and management of our GRFA. When all that is done, we expect a well-secured genetic resource base. A Uganda where I'll be like, I need 100 local chicken, locals in local, not Kuroila, because these days I've been disappointed. You go pay a premium of local chicken, you take it to your house, and what you find is, after cooking for a few minutes, you find it wasn't local chicken, but because they were morphological identical to local, they duped you. So we need to work towards addressing all those challenges. A diverse continuum of products and benefits accruing from the use of those resources. The funding. I had my sister talk about financial limitations to support community seed banks. That should not be an issue when our policy is in place. Functional institutions and strong human resource base to implement the conservation and management of the genetic resources for food and agriculture. And the policy also has priority intervention areas, and similar to the objectives, the priority areas are strengthening in situ and ex situ conservation. In situ is conservation within the natural habitat. For instance, farmers are doing a great job to conserve our resources within the farming systems, because when you grow them in your farming systems, they keep developing, adapting to the changes in the environment. That is very important to support the resilience of our agriculture. Ex situ is the conservation outside the natural habitat. And that basically means going to the communities or to the wild, collect the material, keep it in the freezer, or keep it in liquid nitrogen. But by doing this, you don't allow the material to grow. It's just a backup strategy. When fire or anything or land use modification happens to the resource, you have a fallback position. Then increasing access to and sustainable use of the germplasm. After securing it, we also have to, there are strategies to further the utilization of the germplasm. It's not all about securing and then letting go. We have to utilize the material to benefit our livelihoods. Then enhancing research and innovation. They always say knowledge is power. We need to build our capacity to characterize, evaluate, and understand these resources. All that has to be through research. Then strengthening institutional and human capital for effective and sustainable management of GRFA. There should we envision a time when We are well coordinated as the people of Uganda in regards to the management and conservation of these resources, that a person in Makerere can ably let you know where to find coffee, germplasm, or information about animal germplasm, and this will help us avoid wasting money in duplicating research efforts and also other innovations. That's how the policy looks like as of now, and it is yet to be approved by the top policy management, but it's in the good hands of the ministry, and we trust they'll push through the process as we count on your support and advocacy. Thank all those partners, the farmers, and everyone who has supported this cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Catherine, for that wonderful presentation. Very important topic, very important subject, and we pray and hope that the process goes on until fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now invite the country director of Trocare, Mr. Dolan, I'm told he's online.
Yes, I'm online. Can you hear me?
Hello, Dolan.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you ready?
Well, I'm ready as I will be, yes.
Oh, you're yawning.
I'm not yawning, no, I'm grinning.
Okay. We are all ears and ready to hear from you. I don't know how many minutes you need.
I'd say 5 to 7, something like that. I'm not going to bore you.
Oh, that's great, great.
I'll try not to.
I will give you 10 minutes, a 3-minute bonus, because I'd prepared for you about 20 minutes, but if you can do 7, I'll be most glad. Thank you, you are most welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles, yeah? And thank you to Dr. Catherine for her presentation. It was very interesting. I hope that the 11th Indigenous Food and Seed Fair has been going well. I was looking at the stalls there. It reminds me of my visits also there, was it not last year, maybe the year before. Thanks to all the organizers for what they've done on that, and it's good to see the media there as well. I think looks to me like we're achieving those objectives of creating awareness around Indigenous food and seeds, promoting agricultural biodiversity, and trying to push for an enabling environment to promote Indigenous foods and to scale up agroecology. That's, I think, the future as we see it anyway. Of course, there are important things as to why, and I think Dr. Catherine talked about some of those. I'll only mention a couple. I mean, to recover some of those wild foods for our diet, we heard a number of the people at the stalls speaking about the importance and the micronutrients that those foods can give us. Of course, to have those, we need to protect the habitats. And that's important because those are the ecosystems, whether it's around wetlands or we need to protect those areas for beekeeping and so on, all very important. So it's very valuable for the communities that they also try and preserve these traditional foods. It gives variety to the diet. And there are very many varieties of grains and legumes and so on. And of course, at an international level, that is going on globally, where there is an organization that is trying to collect all the different huge variety of plants and other organisms that we have in the globe that are being destroyed every year by, I suppose, modern agriculture, by expansion, by, I suppose, climate change to some extent, but mainly by our own, by human endeavors, if we speak like that. So in this moment, yeah, I'm talking about the launch of the book, The Wild and Edible Plants of Acholi and Teso, that we're doing today. The book that was done by our partner Pelham, and many other people supported that. So I noticed in that book, as what I could count anyway, were 63 plants that they had mentioned there. So some of those even I am accustomed to use myself. The hibiscus, which I remember I used to drink a lot of that hibiscus juice when I was living in the Sudan, and the tamarind, which I collect sometimes when I'm in the field and bring back and make that tamarind juice, and those are really so nice. Those drinks. Of course, all of these plants are not domesticated or cultivated, so people just go out and collect them on the common areas in the forest and so on, and those are the habitats that are being destroyed, and that, I suppose, is the problem. You know, if I look at somewhere like America and maize, something like 80 to 90% of the maize that they're consuming and producing there is genetically modified maize. So I know there's a debate around that in Uganda as well, but it's a debate that should continue. Anyway, in terms of the launch of the book itself, I just want to acknowledge the partner organizations that have done all the work that has led to that book. So particularly Pelham, who are leading the way on a lot of this work in Uganda. They are doing great work, and we're proud to be associated with them and to support them on their work, because really they're brilliant. But the other partners who contributed that we work with also contributed to the book: Socodido, Tedo, Sardnet, and RLP. And then, of course, to my team, Mary, who I presume is there, Baganizi, and also Dennis, and then to our specialist in HQ, a lady called Rose Hogan, who has been a great supporter of this kind of work and a great supporter to our office in pushing this agenda around agroecology, biodiversity, and so on. So just picking up on you know what Dr. Catherine was saying there about the challenges and the policy and so on. I suppose Uganda, from my 7 years or so there, Ugandans will often say, well, we sign up to all the treaties, but and the policies, we have them written out, but its implementation is our challenge. So I think it may be the same for this one, but we do wish that we do, I suppose, approve and then implement and give resources to implement the national policy. We see it when we work on land as well, and we see where only certain aspects of the policy have been implemented, not all of them, and we push still for full implementation of the land policy. I suppose, yeah, I think it's certainly true that Uganda is gifted by nature. I think even Lonely Planet, that kind of tourism guide globally, had Uganda ranked in the top 10, if not higher, places to visit in the world recently. Really, Uganda is just a beautiful country, and it has a wonderful climate, and the people are very friendly, and I think the world is starting to recognize that. But at the same time, the natural resources are being destroyed. If we look at the deforestation that's going on, the expansion of agricultural production, and so on. So I think we do have to secure the plants, as Dr. Catherine said, and we do have to secure the animals. So I often use a statistic around birds. Birds in Uganda. Uganda is a paradise for birders. Most of you won't know what a birder is, but these are people mostly in the north who are interested in finding unusual birds, and they spend a lot of time and effort and money to get to places like Madagascar and Uganda to see the birds that they can't see in other places. And that's a significant industry as a subsection of tourism, which of course is going to be a growing area. There was something in the Monitor couple of weeks ago or a week ago saying that they're going to create 3,000 jobs in bird kind of related tourism in Uganda going forward. So very important. Well, you know, I think of Uganda by area, 240,000 square kilometers only represents 1% of the, less than 1%, in fact, of the area of the whole of Africa, which is 30 million square kilometers. So it's relatively small, but in Uganda, we have 40% of all the species of birds in the whole of Africa, which to me is an incredible statistic. So you need to try and preserve that as much as you can, because you can lose that very quickly at the rates of deforestation and so on that are going on. Also with climate change, we have so many different types of habitat in Uganda. If you think to the Arab northeast, if we think to the mountains, to the lake areas, the plains, the rivers, I mean, it's incredible what we have in Uganda. We have to try and protect that. With the population increase, another statistic I often use, we're going to have 100 million Ugandans by 2050. That's a frightening statistic. Whether we'll be able to get all those people off the land and doing other things, or whether there will continue to be a lot of subsistence agriculture, it's hard to say. But I suppose it's the government's job to try and make sure that we take care of all those people, but also that we preserve the environment as well. Otherwise, we're on a crash course to destroying the natural environment that we have, and in that way, we will be killing the goose that lays the golden egg, which will be in the future tourism. I mean, it's hard to see that. Of course, agriculture is important, and commercial agriculture and so on is important, but it's hard to see how Uganda, being the size it is going to be able to compete in the going forward with the likes of Brazil or India or Vietnam. Very difficult to see that, but we have to do our best. So those are really all my remarks. Just to wish you well for the rest of the day. I think you're nearly finished now. Congratulations to everybody, and to wish as well also on the launch of the book to Pelham. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Ian, and thanks for that message. And we pray that you will be with us as we wind up with starting with the launch of the book, which is coming in now. Allow me now invite, we are going now for the national book launch of Wild Edible Plants of Teso and Acholi subregions. And Ruth and Tim, Joshua, kindly help us through the process. What are we going to do? It's going to be launched by our guest of honor, in company of the country director, the chairman of the board, Trocare, and also allow me invite, I think representing Trocare is Mary Baganizi, the program manager, resource rights of Trocare. And are we doing it from there? Okay. Can we get kindly a microphone, technical team, a microphone, mobile microphone. Get us a mobile microphone. Okay, now I want to invite now the guest of honor to say something and then go ahead and proceed to launch. Cut the tape and.
Thank you, Master Ceremonies, for this afternoon. The country director, the director Trokea, who has been online, chairman of the board, my good old friend, Dr. I'm glad to be with you today. I am here on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Honorable Frank Kajiji Tumwebaze, who is unable to be here today due to some other earlier engagements. They are quite busy being a new team, still handling very many other issues. He requested me to represent him. I'm Biantwale Tibijuka Stephen, the Acting Director for Crop Resources. I register on behalf of my Honorable Minister sincere appreciations for the wonderful work Pelham team with the partners are doing for this country. I think we must appreciate this wonderful work. And among the deliverables, in addition to what we have observed outside, is providing wonderful information for the public and our communities in Uganda. And one of them is this wonderful book, which I have perused through, and we have also seen some of these products, some of the commodities, the plants being referred to here, being explained during the displays outside. So it is my singular honor to launch the national book on wild edible plants of Acholi and the Teso sub-regions of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you for this wonderful work.
Thank you very much, guest of honor, representing the minister. Thank you very much. Having done that, now it's my pleasure to invite the Honorable Minister Frank Tumwebaze, represented by the Acting Director Stephen, to come and give us his speech. And thereafter, we will proceed to, he will proceed with other guests to award some certificate. But now, Stephen, guest of honor, sir, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Dongtho, who has been moderating us since the time I joined you before lunch, and he has done a very wonderful job. I think he deserves some good clap. Thank you. I'm here, as I have indicated earlier, representing the Honorable Minister, who has been unable to join us, but he sends his greetings and appreciates all the work you are doing, contributing to the deliverables of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries during your work. The chair of the board, Pelham, the country director, Pelham, I saw my colleagues, Mama Extension, Eva Luvumu is here with us. I'm not alone. I don't know whether you came with the other colleagues. I saw Mr. Isaac Awamasembe. Please stand up. He's one of our senior inspectors. And I don't know whether there are other colleagues from the ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, not really forgetting the media team. I would like, on behalf of my Honorable Minister, to thank Pelam for this wonderful 11th annual Indigenous and traditional food and seed fair that has taken place here at Silver Springs, Bugorobi. The theme is building back better, strengthening community resilience to COVID-19 through indigenous foods and agrobiodiversity management. The theme and what we have gone through in the fair and what our wonderful farmers have demonstrated, they also deserve a very big clap. The people who have exhibited. Very wonderful, interesting things taking place. They are in line really with the government policy, with the government efforts towards poverty eradication, food security, and food safety. And to take it further, it all makes a very big contribution on the issues that relate to the national food safety and food security. And it has been a very wonderful selection of even the theme relating it with the challenge we have been experiencing of COVID-19 ever since March 2020, where we have been under lockdown, nothing has been going on, and to go further, the contribution these indigenous foods, these available indigenous plants, indigenous animals have contributed towards the management of COVID and rejuvenating the health of our people. And in absentia, I cannot continue without thanking Dr. Grace Nambatia. I think let us applaud her. She had other engagements and has left us. For both the presentation today, which I joined when she was concluding, and also the wonderful work she has done for this country. We must appreciate people who do good for our people and ourselves. We thank her very much. And also thank Pelam team and all the associated CSOs, NGOs that support all these efforts. The message I have from the Honorable Minister is that as government, we have put in place all the policy, supportive policy, and other implementation frameworks, which are all housed and enshrined in the National Development Plan. And currently, we are entering the National Development Plan 3, which is guiding us to go into industrialization for job creation and wealth. But what we have been seeing today, the exhibitions we have appreciated today, have all been developed and handled during the implementation of our National Development Plan 2, which was basically looking at increasing the production and productivity in all sectors, and also increasing on the infrastructure that is supportive. And to be in particular, under that National Development Plan 2, where you have implemented all this, we have a chapter in that, and it has been the one guiding us. Number one, as the ministry, out of that chapter that assigns us to develop, transform the farmers and do the, whatever is supposed to be done in the agricultural sector, we had to develop and have a vision. And our vision has been a competitive, profitable, and sustainable agricultural sector. And I would like us to thank ourselves for having also been focused to that vision. Everything we have seen outside here has proved that you can be competitive using the indigenous materials we have. You can do profitable business. You can also sustainably produce. You have seen how our people have demonstrated on sustainable production, having the local materials in the form of fertilizer and the rest. So it is in line with that. And we also have a mission under that to transform subsistence agriculture to commercial farming. And indeed, if you do all wonderful Tropicare, Lamont, Sister, the whole value chain has been elaborated, and you can transform yourself doing what Sister has demonstrated. What hasn't she demonstrated during the exhibition? So it is all in line with that. And we have been delivering through 4 objectives. 1, addressing issues around increased production and productivity, ensuring that we are working on issues of market access and value addition, which has all been demonstrated, and issues that relate to providing an enabling environment. The lady from Naro and also our sister who has just presented on the genetic resources policy. All of these are enshrined in trying to provide an enabling environment for our people, for the private sector to thrive, and all of that. And it is really all exhibited in what you have demonstrated. And the last one, not least of the objectives, is institutional development and how we are relating with ICT technology. You have seen our colleagues have gone very far in adopting this. We are going e-extension. Madame Yves Luvumu knows what we have been doing, and it is really quite encouraging that you have adopted. And most of the things, and our colleagues, one of the groups have demonstrated this, delivering the right messages to the farmer quickly, fast, and at the right time. So in agriculture and currently, really, what we pray that as you go back is to continue supporting all of these efforts. And as much as we have put in all of these efforts, we still have a lot of issues in agriculture. What is dividing us still today that I would like you to take home and go and support us in addressing? We still have these issues of low production and productivity per unit area. We have not adopted the right inputs, the right seed, and doing it right at the farm level, so that we increase production, we increase productivity per unit area. We still have challenges of post-harvest losses. It is very, very, very unfortunate that we put in a lot of effort, we break our backs, and at the end of it, you find we are making losses of over 30% to 40% at post-harvest. And this is where really the teams that are helping us handle value addition need to put a lot of effort. And also support the government with the agro-industrialization agenda and value addition. Then issues of storage. Issues of storage. After value addition, after harvesting, again, we still have issues of the right storage. Ebyaji, these granaries. Chairman board, it's only one of the groups, I don't know, I don't remember where they are from, who have demonstrated on Ebyaji, on storage. Wasn't it only one? So I think when we go back, let us look at issues of storage and see how to address them. Again, we have challenges with the market access, both internal, regional markets, and the international markets. The quality, we have challenges with the quality of our products. Part of it arising out of the pests and diseases that impact on the products. Part of it arising out of knowledge. People harvest the tomatoes. When they are taking them to the market, again, they dip them in mancozeb. And you find all of the tomatoes are covered with pesticides. Really, we need extension. We need to go further, provide knowledge that that is not the one going to save the tomato. It is instead bringing danger to our people. Our sister Grace raised a very pertinent issue, which is still a very, very big challenge. The challenge of financial inclusion, access to finance. And I don't know, Chairman Board and the country director, this is where really I made a sincere appeal to you, that we are now rolling into an approach to help us deliver to our people the parish development model, which is going to operate through the parish development committees and also the parish chief and the sub-county extension people and the rest. So I would really humbly request that all your CSOs that are operating at those levels make an effort so that no one is left behind to be part of these parish development committees. You are very good mobilizers at that level. So the guidelines are out. We shall continue sensitizing and also see how you people, the CSOs, the NGOs, can be part of this delivery of service at the parish. So that one of the aspects to be addressed there includes the financial services. Then another challenge we are really grappling with, where we need your support, is the issue of critical inputs. And you have rightly expressed the issues and challenges around the community-based seed systems. And we have already guided on how quality declared seed can be produced. And also, you can package this seed when it has been certified at that level. And you add some little value. You package it properly. You label it. What is it? What variety is it? Work with our scientists. Narrow. The wonderful ladies who are supporting us, you have seen their presentations. They have that knowledge. They will help us, help our groups. When you have the nakati, the seeds, and they say, yes, now this is the right quality, it has been declared, let us go further and label it that this is nakati seed, so that it can move from within the same agroecological zone, from one community to the other. But now if it is in a bottle of mineral water, which has been picked from the road thrown by, how will that be? We cannot assure the quality of that product. So let us take it a step further to add some little value and label. And if it can go further to get a quality declared seed certificate by the Department of Crop Inspection and Certification, then it will even be taken to the market at the next level. So those are the issues I would like you to think about. Then we have issues of inadequate value addition, where you need to focus. It is already taking place. Also, the products We have seen the groups that have those materials which were written in our local languages, and I was discussing also with the Professor, Dr. Nambatia, how can such a materials through her chemotherapeutics laboratory, we get the name of the plant, the mulondo, what is the scientific name? Now she goes further to analyze the constituents. What is in this mulondo that it delivers what the public accesses from it? And it is communicated on the label so that it can have that confidence, and also now you can start accessing international markets with the mulondo. Why not? She was telling me that the results of mulondo are the same as the other ginseng product we always access in the supermarkets. There is a green tea pack, Mikoshi. How many of you have seen that Mikoshi juice? They say, yes, you have seen? A bottle is, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 shillings. So as we move along, Chairman, Director, let us try to utilize the resources of the people we have and take our products. They are organic, to crown it all, and take them a little bit higher. Then issues of coordination, they are critical, and engagements. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot is taking place. When you look at what has been exhibited, Uganda is really gifted. But how do we link? How do we coordinate and make sure that everything we have is known to all, can be accessed by all, and it makes a contribution to all of us as a country? I thank you very much. I don't want to stand in between your time of travel. I am sincerely grateful for being here, and I will brief the Honorable Minister what I have seen. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you.
Let's give the director, our guest of honor, a bigger clap. I know you have been very tired through the day, but the fact that he came to close is a good reason to be energetic. May I now, on your behalf, invite the guest of honor, together with the board chair of Pelham Uganda, accompanied by the country coordinator, and may I also invite Francis Nsanga, who is representing the judges, I've been told, Patrick Nsanga, and the three persons whose names I've read, to come up and Nsanga is going to briefly tell us the criteria that was used and the process that was used to arrive at 10 persons who are going to be given an award, or who are going to be offered awards. 7 of them will be given certificates, and 3 of them will be given trophies. May I now invite Francis to come and, in 1 minute, tell us the process you went through very briefly and the criteria you used for selecting the winners deserving of the award. You're most welcome, Francis.
Thank you, Charles, and kindly allow me to remove my mask because I'm more than 2 meters away from anyone. I want to recognize the presence of the guest of honor, the Acting Director, Crop Protection, Ministry of Agriculture, representing the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, and all dignitaries from the Ministry of Agriculture, the Board Chair of Pelam Uganda, the Country Director, and all of us who are gathered here, I think for some 2 days, and for some of us maybe 1 day, but for a very important event, for a very important reason. My name is Francis Nsanga, and I work with Pelam Uganda together with other partners, and I'm leading on the implementation of the KIA project. KIA project is the knowledge hub for organic agriculture in Eastern Africa, which is being implemented in 4 countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. I was one of the judges this afternoon, and my colleagues, without question, I don't know why, chose that I represent them. But I'll mention their names. We were 4 of us, and the team comprised of Eva Zake from Naro. Please put your hands together. She did a very wonderful job for us. Yes, Eva is right up there. Mary Baganizi, working with Trocare. Mary, if you're here, yes. Thank you very much for the wonderful job this afternoon. We actually did not have lunch. That's how, tough it was. And Richard Mugisha, working with Yalta. Richard, thank you very much for the wonderful job. So quickly, in 1 minute, Charles, I want to say that we had a criteria for selecting the best exhibitors. But bottom line, I want to tell you that all of us were amazed by what you were exhibiting. I think the speakers that have come here have said the same thing. But we wanted to look at 4 or 5 things, and one of them was diversity. How many of the indigenous crops and varieties do you have? How many of those are traditional foods, and how many of those are you trying to put out, and those that are getting extinct, how many are you working on to bring back to the surface of the planet? We also looked at knowledge and documentation of foods and seeds in relation to agroecology. And I want to tell you that one of the big challenges that we found is that documentation is largely lacking. And the project that I've just mentioned here, the Knowledge Hub for Organic Agriculture in Eastern Africa, is working on that particular area. And so I want to call upon you wherever you are. Some of you here have already worked with us as multipliers. Some of you are associate partners on this project. We want to make knowledge available to the farmer. We want to make knowledge available to the partners that we work with. And so let us work together, especially through this project. We have an opportunity for more than 3 years as I speak right now, so we can do a lot from this opportunity, the Knowledge Hub for Organic Agriculture in Eastern Africa. We also looked at agroecology-related technologies and practices that were exhibited along the entire value chain, and we also looked at the relevance of your exhibition this year round, when we are looking at building back better, strengthening community resilience to COVID-19 through indigenous foods and agrobiodiversity management. And so these are the areas you might find that we have so many comments in so many areas, but largely this is where we've focused our judgment. But don't take anything for granted. There is a lot that we got to learn from you, even the list that you can say, we got something to learn from everyone. Up to 26 organizations were visited Your exhibitions were visited and we looked at everything. We shared a lot with you. Thank you very much for your time and your knowledge. There are some comments that cannot go unnoticed. One of them is livestock still lags behind. We need to improve on the integration of livestock in our work. There's a lot of crop, yes, and we are aware that probably it's not easy to ferry the animals to this event, but I think we need to keep an eye on the fact that we need to have livestock in the picture. And then, like I mentioned before, documentation is largely lacking, and we need to improve in that area. And many of you were very, very eloquent, knowledgeable. I remember, I think, 2-3 stalls where people were telling us, our farmers know these things, they have them in their heads. And our question was, if you left that organization tomorrow and you go with your head, how shall we benefit from what you know? So documentation, documentation, documentation. And then we need also to scale up the innovations that we've seen. There are many innovations. Some of them were even here last year, and they are still at the same level that we left them. And we are thinking that there is need for us to, expound and scale up these innovations. And also look at agroecology in totality, considering that agroecology encompasses human health, plant health, animal health, and environmental health. So we want to thank you very much. That is how we had to do this. And maybe very lastly, Charles, is that as we showcase our agroecology work, we need to still show the evidence. Showing economic viability of what we do is going to make promotion of agroecology much easier. If we have the evidence of the economic benefit as well as the nutritional benefit, it's going to be easier for us to promote agroecology. Having said that, Charles, I don't know what you want us to do, but I think like you invited the chief guest, we would probably have them, and then, yes, we would have them here, and then have the winners. And this is the moment I think many of us have been waiting for, so that we can know who the winners are for 2021, the year of the Lord, after COVID had all its effects on all of us. So the guest of honor, the director, the country coordinator, Pelham Uganda, and the board chair of Pelham Uganda. So we have, like Charles mentioned, we are going to recognize up to 10 organizations, but 3 are going to receive trophies, and 7 are going to receive certificates. And now, I want you to now, if you're dozing, please wake up, because this is the time that we've been waiting for. Yes or yes? Yes. So, like I told you, we had 26 organizations and stalls visited. And so, I'll start with the organization, the exhibitor in position number 10. And the name is, are you ready? Okay. And the name is ESAF Uganda. Congratulations, ESAF Uganda. Do we have a representative? The DJ prepare some good songs to accompany these people as they come up. ESAF Uganda, I know they might be in a stall, but we want to request that somebody calls them. They are here. ESAF Uganda. Great.
breezy for sheezy.
If you have been a desire,
Congratulations, SF Uganda. Great job.
this year might be your year.
Great job. Thank you very much.
You to do what you aspire. You desire.
Thank you.
Somebody gonna marry
A
this.
picture, please. Just make
Let me tell you something about this.
paparazzi. Let us know how.
Must be better than last year.
That's fine.
It's your year. You know this is your year.
Thank you, SF. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Sure.
I was amazed by the app and so many other things that you're doing at SF Uganda. And position number 9. Position number 9. And the name is Kulika, Uganda. Kulika, Uganda. Congratulations. We have a representative. If the team is here, please join your colleague.
I know you want a life
Kulika, Uganda.
I know you love me and I love you too.
DJ,
baby.
please.
I know you like me, I know you feel
Yes.
me. So let me put
They
that
want
ring
to
on
give us
your
a dance
finger.
as they come.
I know you love me and I love you too, baby. Me say prevent, then I'm loving your outing.
Congratulations.
Jana kita kikingi simga, God just know that it's nothing. Rather I am a patient, trusting woman, woman, woman. She be my woman, 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 woman. She be my woman, woman, woman.
Great, congratulations.
She be my woman, woman.
Congratulations, Kulika, Uganda. And now I want to tell you that it was very tight. It was very difficult for us. It could have been difficult for anyone here to find, winners in these positions. And as I mentioned the next organizations, I want you to be aware that we don't have positions 8, 7, and 6, but rather a tie. We have a tie of position number 5, and we shall also have ties at position number 4. So I'm going to read out those who were tying at position number 5 to come, I think, one at a time, but I want you to organize them as people, as organizations that are in position number 5 for their excellent work. It was very difficult for us to even separate them. And imagine we were 4 and we're not looking at score sheets of each other, but we came up to have people tying, organizations tying. And so the following organizations were in position number 5, and there are 2 of them. The first one is an organization that is exhibiting on behalf of the Knowledge Hub for Organic Agriculture in Eastern Africa, and the proprietor of this organization is a multiplier, and the organization is Aroma Organic Farm. Thank you very much, and congratulations. We are proud of you. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Super. So Aroma Organic Farm, thank you very much. We look forward to many more. When we were at the exhibition, they told us that this is our very, very, very first time to be at this event. And see how you come for the very first time and you scoop. so highly. So we thank you very much. The other organization in position number 5 is the Agency for Integrated Rural Development, AFAD. AFAD, if you have representatives here, please come. Congratulations, AFAD. Great job. Great job, great job.
Right now I know they do I know they You know what you want to chop, you know one strike you want to flex, so you must serve before you be boss, so you know one suffer you want enjoy you. Right now me I'm chilling in my chulo way. God knows say I walk out to be right. If you try to mess with me I look the other way. But if you fuck up you will never get away. Right now I know they do
Great job. Thank you very much, AFAD. Thank you for doing a great job at the exhibition. And so in position, remember now, position number 4, we have up to 3 organizations that are tying. And so whoever you see from now on, you should know that they are in position number 4. And I want to start with, are you ready? Okay. Sadnet. Are we here? Sadnet. Thank you very much for doing a great job. Thank you so very much for the great job. And I just want to recognize that SADNet and AFAD are some of the organizations that actually showed us some good documentation. And we can pick leaves from those organizations. Thank you very much for the good job. And the other organization in position number 4 is none other than Action Aid Uganda.
Because we look at we to Chito, sticks to a Roger family, we go carrot. And this a girl we go kick it. My hand over here. Galabuna me say gala fire down. Everything we give her in the show me touch it down. Yeah. Hey, oh no man I am cooler. It's what I chinye makura. Yo. Muti mobutu ti mowido. Obutu na kabela isinga tunda kilo.
Thank you very much, Action Aid Uganda. Beautiful job. I was amazed by the number of guest dishes at Action Aid Uganda. I can't remember the number. There are just too many. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Action Aid Uganda. So the other organization in position number 4 is none other than the Hunger Project Uganda. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the Hunger Project. And I particularly want us to continue the work of seed and seed banking. Thank you very much for your good work, and we are really very proud of you, the Hunger Project Uganda. Now, if you've been counting, we have how many left? 3. And I want to start with the first one. Or you want us to start with the third one? The first one. The third. I knew. Okay, so now, let me first see whether I'm seeing very well. Yes, because this is very important. So, at position number 3, are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, I can see some people preparing to have some guns go shoot up. Okay, please don't shoot us. So, in position number 3 is none other than in third position is the second runner-up. Yes. So in position second runner-up is Church of England. No. Church of Uganda. Tedo. Yes. Congratulations, Tedo. Good job.
Slowly I might be falling in love. I will never ever take it for granted.
Good job. Good job.
You want it on the beat on the neck on belera. On your camera nga Tanzania. Wale on no kukulaba.
Tedo, thank you very much. And I know that among this team we have again someone we call a multiplier in the Knowledge Hub for organic agriculture in Eastern Africa. So we want to document that knowledge and take it to the region and beyond. And I was actually amazed by the number of hubs that you guys have. Wow. Thank you very much and congratulations. Great job. And in position number 2, which is the first runner-up. First of all, this organization, the name of this organization insinuates the fact that they can't run. I do not know how they coined their name, and I'm here to ask them how they came up with that name. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in position number 2, first runners up for our Indigenous Food Fair Exhibition 2021 is none other than Slow Food Uganda. Congratulations, Slow Food. I want to come back to you and ask why you have the name Slow Food and yet you do things a bit fast. Thank you very much for the good job. We were amazed by your teamwork, your exhibition, amazing varieties at your stall. Thank you for the good job. Hey, and now, who do you think? Are we ready? We are ready. Okay, so now let us wake up, just in case you have been sleeping. We have been giving awards to organizations that have been exhibiting and those that have done excellently well. We have given organizations from position number 10, and now we are at position number best, number 1. And the winner of the Indigenous Food Fair Exhibition 2021 is none other than Soroti Catholic Diocese Development Organization, Soka Dido. Give them a good song, DJ. Congratulations, Sokadido. Wow. 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 Congratulations, Sokadido. Congratulations, Sokadido. Congratulations, Sokadido. This is wonderful. Thank you very much for the great work. Again, I was amazed, and the team of judges was amazed by the number of dishes you exhibited. I wanted to remain at your stall because you had local chicken that was already cooked, actually boiled, and that's my favorite. So thank you very much. If you still have it, you can invite me. I will be very, very pleased to share with you. And so we have come to the end of the recognition of the exhibitors. Thank you very much, everyone, for the good job, and congratulations to all of us. And back to Charles for the next step. Thank you very much.
Let them remain there now. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Francis. Ladies and gentlemen, let's first put our hands together to appreciate Francis and his team. Thank you very much, Francis, for going through that process. It's usually not easy to award excellence, but we thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now coming towards the end, but I want to thank all of you. I want us to start by thanking our guest of honor. Our guest of honor, the minister here represented by the Acting Director, Crop Resources, Mr. Stephen Biantwale. Thank you very much for coming to grace this occasion. Let's clap and appreciate very much Pelam, Uganda, for bringing together and organizing this with your leadership of Stella, together with the country board chairperson, Dr. Cheswa. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Pelam. The partners, there are so many of them. There are so many partners that have been involved. We have the Ministry of Agriculture, EOA, Yalta, CARE, the Stanbic Business Incubator Limited. We have Trocare, Oxfam, Brot. Which one have Oxfam? Swedish Society for Nature Conservation. If I've forgotten any, kindly remind me, but I want to thank everybody who ensured that this fair 2021, the 11th Food and Seed Fair, takes place in a very colorful, successful manner like it has happened. Thank you very much to all the partners. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to clap for yourselves and especially those of you who exhibited, and join me in clapping and thanking and appreciating the people who have got awards. All of you are winners, except that some perhaps did one or two things which made them win the certificates and awards, but you are all winners in your various capacities. The exhibitors, we want to thank you very much. We want to thank the hotel, Silver Springs. Thank you very much for ensuring that this place is convenient for this work, and especially during this COVID period, to find a spacious area where we can all be accommodated in and successfully and also safely. I want to thank the hotel for that. I think that's it, and we are coming towards the end. But I think the most important, someone said that in this COVID period, just being alive and being just alive enough is enough to celebrate, just living. So we have to thank God. Let's clap for him for enabling all of us to be here and for good health. And now, finally, I'm going to invite Dr. Cheswa, the country board, and to come and give us a message as we finalize and then exit. You're most welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Bwana MC. Friends, many of you may have already heard, but probably some of you have not yet heard, that our beloved country coordinator, Stella Lutalo, is moving on, is stepping out of Pelham. In fact, that will be on the 5th of November, 2021. Stella, we would really like to appreciate you and to thank you for the dedicated service you've rendered to Pelham. For those of you who may not be in the know, Stella has served with Pelham for a solid 15 years. I think he deserves a round of applause. So, Stella, we have a small token of appreciation to you as Pelham family, which would like the chief guest to hand over to you. Thank you very much, and may good Lord continue to bless you as you continue to fly even higher. Thank you.
I can move a little bit. Dear brothers and sisters, it is my singular honor to hand over this token of appreciation to Madame Stella for the service she has rendered to Pelham for the last 15 years without a scar. You know, there is service with dignity. And therefore, she deserves it, and we wish her all the best wherever she's going to render same service and deliver even better. I wish you good luck, Stella. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Stella, and congratulations. And thank you. Thanks a lot, and Pelham especially, we thank you. Now, there is an announcement that all exhibitors have certificates at the registration desk towards the exit. Kindly pick your certificates of exhibition. Thank you very much. God bless you all, and that will be the end. Ruth, Francis, is there any announcement, administration announcement? Otherwise, travel safely. All exhibitors, you will be called at the exit there for your transport refund. That's the message. So your transport refund, you will be called for at the exit. All exhibitors. Thank you very much. God bless you.